What's Miles from Blackening TV talking to the director and writers of The Blackening, which premiered in Toronto, but now we got a trailer out right now. So, what went into putting this story together, Dewayne?
One day in Chicago, I had to write a sketch for an all black improv show. And I said, what could a bunch of niggas do together? And I said, oh, horror, that's a good genre to parody. And then I wrote the sketch, the Comedy Central sketch that 3P did. And then Tracy saw it. She emailed me and said, "Hey, you want to make a movie?" And I said, "Girl, what? Yeah, yeah, absolutely." And then Tim Story came on as a producer, and then we wrote it, and then he shepherded the vision, and now here we are.
Not that often we get, a comedy with black comedians. So, Tracy, coming in here, what did you want to add to what he already put together?
I really just wanted to kind of flesh it out and make it a fully realized script. I love the scene and I wanted to preserve that scene and have it within the movie, but I knew that if we were gonna be able to make it into something that, audiences are invested in, we have to kind of make the characters three-dimensional and fully realized. And who are they? How are they friends? How do they know each other? So that's kind of what Dwayne and I initially talked about, is like, how do we make these sketch characters feel real, like ground them somewhat, but keep some of the humor that was in the sketch, and then just kind of have enough scares and jokes throughout it where we're truly a horror comedy and not leaning one way or the other. But yeah, I just kind of came in to kind of help him flesh out what I thought he already did really well. And then I think we added a couple of new characters, definitely a new villain and new other people that weren't in the original sketch. But yeah.
And Tim, obviously, you're no stranger to doing comedies, black comedies. You work well with an ensemble. So coming in here as a producer, now director, how did you put together and write the ship with what these two had written?
Well, I mean, what's great is when you start off with a blueprint that's this good. And it really was one of those situations where I wasn't supposed to direct it. I read the script and just said, I haven't laughed this much in a long time. And it was so clever and just kind of clever, smart, just it got everything. And it, most importantly, it was, for me, it was so much of my type of humor. And I just had to be a part of it. And then from there, I do love ensembles. I do love smart humor and humor that's baked inside of character and not jokes. And that's what this was so, kind of uh what's the word for it? It was so authentic in that light that I had to be a part of it. And I've often said this, that I just didn't want anybody else to mess it up. So I just wanted to bring it to screen because I just felt like I understood it.
Yeah, the premise alone, obviously we've seen other comedies like a Scream, and other movies that like make fun of itself, and when you see it here with black individuals, we want to make sure that, like, hey, this is real. Black folks wrote this. This is not a film. We put black folks in it, so when they get the dialogue, they'll get it. Obviously the movie's coming out, I believe, in the summer, so we got some more time to market this stuff, but these days I always say, listen, there's a glut of programming out there between cable and streaming and net and TV, as well as what's on theaters. What's the sell that's going to get people to see this? We all want people to see this, and there's a lot of glut there. So you guys wrote the piece. Now all of us have to work on the marketing. So Tracy has writers, and you've got other projects. What is the sell?
There's nothing like this. Like, truly, there's nothing like this in the marketplace, and certainly nothing that I've ever seen. And I know that because Dwayne and I were desperately looking for templates and things to watch to try to help us figure this out. And we were like, oh my God, we're kind of inventing a template here. And I think that truly people are, when this works, I do think it's going to be a very successful movie. I think people like go to see it and they enjoy it. They'll look back on The Blackening as this is an example of an ensemble horror comedy with all Black people that worked really well. But I do think that we actually kind of created something new and fresh. And every time that we've gone to screenings, people kind of walk out with this, like, I've never seen anything like that before. And that was amazing. So I feel confident that it's going to stand out in the marketplace just because it's fresh. It's very, very Black and very specific, but also still so entertaining that anybody can see it and watch it. Because at TIFF, it played to basically a majority white audience and got a lot of laughs. So it's a movie that's very specific, but also very, very relatable and entertaining, I think, to a wide group of people.
Dewayne, this has been your baby for a long time. How does it feel to have it? The trailer now out. People are now more people know about it now, because it's one thing that's going to a festival. That's for a small audience. That's for cinephiles. So now the world gets to see at some point, starting from the trailer, and then we'll see other stuff coming out. Did you have a hand in the casting?
Me?
Yes.
Well, I wrote the character Dewayne as Dewayne.
Besides yourself, did you have a hand in the casting of the others?
No, I mean, that's like somebody's whole job. And so not really. So yep.
You know, so you would think it's your creation. He was like, nah, besides myself, who else is gonna play certain parts? And Tim, you know, obviously when you come in there, you know, they're writers, you know, you're the producer, the writers, you know what's gonna work out or not, you know. So what did you find fascinating when you came on board, and why did you decide you wanted to direct this piece as opposed to, like, did you have anyone else in mind when you came on board? And then how long before you decided, okay, I can do this?
When you say somebody else in mind for
To direct.
No, we figured in the start of once they sat down to start writing it, we figured we'd find, an up and coming director or someone that was in a, position that might want to do this. And so it was kind of like, we hadn't really thought of anybody. We just kind of said, hey, we'd get to it once they, delivered their masterpiece. And once they delivered it, it's kind of went, okay, let me read it so I can start to help in that process. And I just went, oh, wow, I've been looking for something like this to do for a while. This was a movie we made, not with the hugest budget. And I also knew that in order to pull it off, it was gonna take, some experience to be sure that we created something that resonated. So, look, like I said before, when these guys give you a blueprint that just works, then it becomes real easy, or easier to bring it to the screen, because you have the blueprint, you know where you're going, and to have this the blueprint and the cast and an amazing crew, I think we kind of made ourselves proud.
And to wrap it up, Tracy, with the cast that we have at hand, between you and Dewayne, did you guys tailor any of the characters based on the personality of the actors you have in there?
No, I will say that's kind of been the beautiful thing about this, is that, I mean, from, like Dwayne said, from jump, I was like, he has to be Dwayne. And I remember Dwayne was even kind of shy about it, because he was like, is it weird if I write? And I was like, no, we have to do that. Like, you wrote it for yourself, so let's keep that. And, me and Tim were very protective of Dwayne in the casting process, because we were like, it's him. And then everyone else was kind of like, well, it's wide open and we don't know what's going to happen. And everybody just kind of came in and brought something new to what was on the page and kind of made it their own. And we kind of grew along with them, if that makes any sense. But no, we didn't write for anybody in particular. I think all of the cast that came in kind of surprised us and elevated the material in their specific way. It was kind of cool to see.
Well, we have time, let's get the marketing going. All of us have to work in synergy to make sure this is a success, so that way we get more writings from both of you, and more, obviously, Tim, I know you're gonna always have projects here and there. So as always, I'm always here to support. So wherever you guys are at, take care and stay safe.
Thank you.
Listen.